If you notice the lighting is different behind me today, it's because I am driving home in the middle of the afternoon. Once again, I am meeting with my child's teacher to make sure he's behaving himself in school. So, as I'm driving, today's topic is going to be about one of the things I loathe talking about, and that would be Kim Kardashian. Yeah. I swear this girl just gets way too much play, but sometimes she does stuff where there should be a conversation about it. So yesterday night, she posted a picture of herself with what she calls Bo Derek braids. And, you know, for those of you who don't know who Bo Derek was, she was a white woman from back in the day who was the very famous poster of her coming out of the water from a movie. She's wearing an orange bathing suit, and she has kind of cornrows at the top, and then they kind of loosen off into separate box braids. And she was saying she had Bo Derek's braids. And people are calling what Kim Kardashian is saying cultural appropriation. And that kind of makes me laugh because it really, I feel like Kim Kardashian is so vapid that she has no idea that these braids are a part of the African American community, or that they've been used in Caribbean African culture for years and years and years and years. I think she just uses the most recent reference that she has, and she can't use, hey, look at my African American style box braids. Like, she can't really give the credit the way everybody thinks she can, because it's gonna sound nuts. So she used Bo Derek. And people keep saying she's culturally appropriating. And this isn't the first time she's done this. Does everybody remember when she said that she had boxer braids with, once again, were just big cornrow plaits going back into the back of her head? That's all that was. I think she's just stupid. I really do. I think she's just a really, really dumb woman, and she lucked up on being famous. So everybody's asking for her to be this really smart person and culturally aware. She's not culturally aware. I mean, and it's sad because she has three children now who are mixed, and I don't think she's ever going to understand it. And thank God her kids live in Hollywood and not in the real world, where she's going to understand that when your kids are mixed, people don't look at them as mixed kids. They look at them as brown kids or black kids. And she'll never have to deal with that, thank goodness. But I just think she's stupid. And I don't think she's trying to purposely culturally appropriate. I think she just doesn't know any better. And she doesn't have anybody in her team saying, well, they're not really Bo Derek braids, they're actually African braids. They're actually not boxer braids, they're African braids. And this is just what happens when you have stupid people becoming famous. When you have uneducated people and you say, hey, you got naked on a sex video, so here's $1 million. Build your empire off that. Not realizing these people aren't smart, and they're gonna do dumb stuff. They're gonna do a lot of dumb stuff. I mean, that whole family, when it comes to African Americans and African American culture, they don't get it. I mean, they suck the culture out of every man that's ever come in the house, been a black man. I mean, I hope that the current hostage was Kyrie Irving. I hope that he survives, because Lamar Odom didn't. And Lord Jesus, poor Kanye West. Like, is he okay? Does he need to start blinking twice when he goes on TVs and on reward shows, so that we know he's okay? Because he hasn't really said anything in a while, and he hasn't really had an album out in a minute, and he's kind of just there, trapped in that family. I mean, I feel like he's 2 seconds away before becoming, a member of a cult. That's what the Kardashians seem like to me, a cult. And no one's educating them. And that girl that hangs out with them, Malika, she doesn't really seem to be saying anything. But I guess if you're in with the Kardashian family, you'll do whatever it takes to stay. So I, again, don't think she's doing cultural appropriation. I think she's just really stupid. I know a lot of people jump on me and say, well, no. You can't always chalk it up to stupid, or they don't know any better. They know what they're doing. Now it's coming from Kim Kardashian. The girl got famous by having sex with somebody and recording it, which is already a dumb move. She has an app out that I'm pretty sure she has no idea how it operates, but she makes millions of dollars off of it. She's just not smart, and that's fine. To me, it's not that big of a deal. It's not worth having a large conversation about it and saying that she's culturally appropriating. Or I actually watched somebody on Twitter explain, how Egyptians came before, Africans, and Africans are Nubians, but Nubians aren't this and that. I'm like, do you really think this girl can even spell Nubian? Do you think she can even pick out Egypt on a map? No. So having that conversation was a really big waste of time, but, nice try, buddy. So a lot of you guys jumping down Kim Kardashian, or a lot of these white women's necks about cultural appropriation. They don't know any better, and no one in their camp is explaining to them. And it's not fun having African Americans or Black Twitter yell at them about it. Like, no one's actually explaining what cultural appropriation is. The only person who ever got explained to is Katy Perry. And when she realized it, she was like, okay, I know what it means now. I get it. My bad. And since everybody's so busy yelling at, Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, why hasn't anybody gone off on Miley Cyrus to her face and say, you actually are you're a culture vulture, which is worse. You use our culture to get famous in the African American community and become all this kind of weird hybrid white hip hop disgusting girl. And now that you've used and sucked everything you could out of it, now you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to country and pop music, and now I'm gonna go back to my fiance, and we're gonna go get married and live in Australia and pet kangaroos. Like, what the hell was that? Like, there's somebody who everybody needs to go off on and say, every interview Miley Cyrus has, people need to go off on her about that whole situation when she was hip hop for about a year and then just gave it up to say, okay, now I'm going back to my roots. Well, then if you're going back to your roots, what the hell are you doing over here trying to kick it with us? Girl, bye. Anyway, Kim Kardashian is stupid, and before you guys get on Twitter and start yelling at people about cultural appropriation, how about you guys explain to them what it is, see how they respond, and they still say no, then just chalk them up to stupid idiots and keep it moving. Don't waste your time.